Good evening, everyone. This is Sajid here. Let's start. If anyone else is joining, we could just ask them to just join in a while. Anyways, the session is being recorded as well, so I think that should suffice. So before we start, I usually like asking this question, right? So I just wanted to know um, what exactly it is that you guys are currently doing, right? So what is your background and what exactly is it that you're looking for? So this kind of helps me understand what you want. So I don't just blindly go in there and start talking something else. So what I want you to do is just quickly let me know what exactly in this is is your goal, right? So are you looking at career opportunities, or are you looking at are you looking at like setting up some business, or are you want to like kind of like get into some kind of like upskilling activities because you're already working. So you could just let me know. Just quickly, type out in the chat box. Let me know what exactly is your requirement right now. It could be number one, you're a student looking for a job, or you're looking for new business opportunities, or you have some kind of requirement because you're a mechanic or you're a technician, you want to upgrade your knowledge, or number four, an engineer. So just type out student, business, technician, or engineer, just for me to understand what exactly you guys are doing, right? If you could just quickly go ahead and type it out, would be a great deal of help for me, so I know whom I'm speaking with. So we have one person saying new business opportunity. Great. Automotive technician, job and business opportunity. Super. Right. So others, please do type it in. So this kind of helps me understand what you're looking at, right? Automotive engineer looking for a job, invest in setting up a business for EV. Great. Super. Um, Anyone else? We only have about five of you. Oh, hi, Kunal. Startup is good. Startup is good. There's quite a lot of things which we've been doing. Electrical executive engineer, great knowledge in EV, electrical engineering, right? Automatic. Balakumar looking for a career growth. Okay, super. Okay. Um, okay, so let me get on with this, right? So I'll be doing this from two different perspective. So the first one is basically like whenever we speak about electric vehicles, there is a huge thing going about electric vehicles, and depending on whom you speak to, they would kind of make you believe that. If you don't know about electric vehicles, that's it, you're done, right? You don't have a future. That's how they talk, right? And then there are other people who believe otherwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly take you through some some images here, which would probably be like an eye opener for you. So of course there are people who say that hey, electric vehicles are the future. So if electric vehicles are the future, then you typically would tend to see the markets behaving accordingly. See, one thing I've learned is whether you like the stock market, you play it, you don't play it. One thing you cannot deny about stock market is the collective wisdom of the crowds will always tell you the truth, right? So Rivian started laying off people, I think a couple of months back, right? We had two sets of layoffs which happened. But if you do look at the stock market, right? Compared to the price at which it was launched, which was $100 plus. This is all in dollars for the US market, and it's now trading at $10 or something. That's almost like a 10% of what it was originally trading at, and the market somehow kind of knew in 2022, mid 2022, late 2022, that Rivian is basically not going to cut it out. So, which was basically why the price came down. They didn't think it was worth all that much, right? Whereas Tesla, on the other hand, you see has maintained more or less its stance. Of course, there were ups and downs. Ups were happening during COVID, and when pretty much every stock had that uptrend. But Tesla is basically, there at $200. So now people also say that electric vehicles are the future, which means anyone who's there in IC engines, they don't have a future, right? So they usually probably tend to think of it like that. They say, no, electric vehicles don't have a future. Rajesh, I would kindly request you to just check the audio or connection on your side. Others, you could just please confirm in the chat box if you're able to hear me. I don't see a problem at my end. If others are also having a audio issue, you could just let me know. Is the audio clear? Okay. Thanks a lot for that, Shahid. Thanks a lot for that. Um, okay. Thank you. Right. So what I'm trying to say is that let's not go by what is said on Instagram or even LinkedIn for that matter. People can say a lot of things, and Instagram, to the best of my knowledge, I'll probably be talking about that as well, right? So I'm a little shy, and I don't exactly post what I do on LinkedIn or any of the social media. But there have been some things which we've been doing. So what I'm trying to say is forget what you read on LinkedIn. It's just fear of missing out which gets happening. So don't go by the fact that people saying if you don't know electric vehicles, you don't have a future. That's not the case, right? So as you can see the next set of charts, let's compare the charts of Ford Motor Company and Toyota. So Toyota and Ford, the thing here is you're comparing charts from 2015 onward. So you're comparing for almost 9 years, 10 years of charts that you're comparing, and you see that while Ford has kind of more or less stagnated at about $10 to $15 per stock limits, Toyota has kind of climbed. And in fact, Toyota is selling at $246 a stock, right? Now, a quick question for you. Do you think Toyota is selling any electric vehicles? Ford is selling electric vehicles, right? Rivian is selling electric vehicles. Ford is also selling IC engines. Tesla is selling only electric vehicles. What about Toyota? Why is a Toyota stock selling at the same price or more than what Tesla is selling for? What does the market look at that? Or why do you think that the market is kind of valuing it so much? This is like the resale price, right? Why do you think Innova's sell for so much in India? You know that story, right? You get a Innova today, use it for 5 years, and you can sell it for a profit, right? So the market is so bent on the used car prices of any Toyota, probably. The reason being like they expect that to last, and they expect that there's a lot of business opportunity. But the funny thing, right, is that Toyota does not have an electric vehicle. You know that, right? They don't have any electric vehicle. So what happens in the market these days, right, is like a very funny thing. There's this huge tug of war which keeps happening between companies which say that no, electric vehicles are the future, probably like Ford, right? And companies like, on the other hand, Toyotas, which for all that matters, Toyota still does not have an electric vehicle, right? I mean, I don't know. Do they have an electric vehicle? I don't know. So the market, if you look at it, they are kind of like split into two, right? So on one side, I would say Group EV. So these are companies which say that electric vehicles are the future, right? So you have completely electric vehicles like Tesla. You have BYD, which started out as a component manufacturer, battery component manufacturer, but they've now gone into EVs. And then you have one of the big threes, right? The German big threes, Audi. Audi today has purely IC engines, turbocharged petrol. They do have some nice diesels, unfortunately not in India. So when I say Audi, think of the entire WAG group of cars, Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda. And then on the other side, we have companies like Toyota, Honda, and BMW as well, right? BMW is a very interesting case. So while Toyota and Honda, they've decided, no, we are not going to go with electric vehicles. We'll go only with hybrid electric vehicles, right? That's what they've been doing. They very staunchly believe, and they've been pretty successful. Take the new I mean the high cross which comes in, right? So you will probably not get a slot for it for the next 3 months or 4 months, right? I think if I'm right, my data is correct, the ZX option I think 1 year you'll have to wait. I mean, what is there in the car? But they still got it right. It's not an electric vehicle. It's a petrol hybrid, and then they've still got it right. Now, BMW is very interestingly what they've done is they said we will play it safe. We will, kind of score on both sides. So they have pure electric, they have pure petrol, they have diesel, and then they have hybrid vehicles as well. So what I'm trying to say is that it is not kind of a very clear cut future that we are seeing, though you would think that people on LinkedIn saying no electric car the future, and the advertisements which come on Instagram and LinkedIn which says if you do not learn electric vehicles you don't have a future, you don't have a career. Don't worry about all that, right? Because one thing is true is that even the automotive manufacturers themselves are not very convinced about a fully electric future. They still look at hybrid electric futures. But what I'm trying to tell you is, irrespective of whatever happens, whether it is going to be purely electric or hybrid electric, or irrespective of whatever happens, the problems for you, it doesn't stop, right? The problems, I mean, when I say you, us, right, you and me, we are not the automotive industry. We are going to be like the consumers. The problem for us, it does not stop. Now, you can think of this as problems, or you can also think of it as opportunities. Now, the fact that you are here, the fact that I'm here, it basically means we tend to think of every single problem as an opportunity, right? So that's where the trick lies. How do you make money? Convert every problem into an opportunity. So, irrespective of whether the future is going to be purely electric or hybrid electric, we are going to have more and more emission norms coming in. We are going to have BS7, BS8, Euro 9, Euro 10. We don't know, right? I mean, they do kind of like have plans for that. And as more and more of these emission norm comes in, automotive technology is going to become more complicated. You're going to have systems like three-letter acronyms. There's so much of acronyms that it's very difficult for you to like stay on top of it. Starting with DPF, SCR, LNT, whatnot, right? There's quite a lot of things which keeps happening on one side, and on the other side, the people on the EV side who keeps pushing for a huge investment and a huge transition. If you are from Tamil Nadu, you would have heard that VinFast is setting up assembly plant. I'm pretty sure it's not an R&D center, but at least an assembly plant which is getting set up in Tuticorin. Ola has been setting up the gigafactories which manufacture battery packs. They also have their two-wheeler assembly units. Yeah, I will share the PDF. I will do that. Right. So they do have quite a lot of investments coming in. Now, in India, there is a very funny thing which happens, right? Which is very unlike other countries, or maybe very unlike other developed countries. In India, money will be easy to acquire. You can easily get money. Investors are there. They're willing to invest in India. They believe India is going to grow. Blah blah blah. Money is easy. But what is not easy is the manpower, right? I mean, manpower even for a normal regular technology that you have, there's a huge deficit. And imagine what's going to happen when new technologies come in, right? So now, when you think of all of these things, right? So one thing you might think is, okay, that's all the problem is, right? So BS6 coming in, we have DPF, we have new sensors. Cars have problems because of DPF, the diesel particulate filter gets clogged up. You cannot go on long drives. If you are going, you'll need to check AdBlue. Sensors keep conking off. There's quite a lot of problems which we have probably seen, right? BS6 has been there for the last 3 years, so we've seen quite a lot of problems. But if you think that this is going to be the only problem that you're going to face, then I mean, I know this looks funny, but it is not all the problems that we are going to face. And whenever you see problems, whenever you hear the word problems, I want you to think of only one word, which is opportunities. So if it is not just BS6, if it is not the DPF, EGR, or SCR and all of those things, what is the more problems that you can expect, right? So on the top of my mind, these are some things which I can think of. So starting with one of the biggest problem which we have, which probably no one is talking about. I've been wanting to do a couple of videos on this, which is ethanol blended fuels. How many of you here know that you are already getting only ethanol blended petrol and diesel? Whatever petrol and diesel that you get, it is purely ethanol blended. It varies anywhere between 5 to 12%, right? And the plan is to introduce up to 25% of ethanol blending. Now, they say ethanol blending is actually good. Ethanol blending kind of like decreases dependence on imported oil. It's good for the country and all of those things. But do you know what ethanol actually does to your car? How many of you here have BS6 cars? Or how many of you, how many BS6 cars do you think were sold in India compared to the non-BS6? BS6 cars probably would be like what? Under 10%, under 5%, I don't know, maybe under 5%, right? Comparing the number of vehicles which were sold before, let's say 2020, and then cars sold after 2020. So in 4 years, we could have probably only sold so much of cars. Any car which was sold before BS6 came into play will have a problem with ethanol, right? They will definitely have a problem with ethanol. And on top of it, now the government is coming with alternate fuels. They are saying the entire government fleet of buses will be retrofitted, will be converted into either electric or CNG. Delhi has said 10-year-old diesel, 15-year-old petrol, scrap it. You can't even park it at your house. I mean, you can't even park it at your house. You have a car, and if it is more than like 10 years old, if it's a diesel vehicle, they'll come, they'll pick up the car, they'll scrap it, they'll send you the money. That's it, right? So it's not the end of the story, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is there are going to be more horror stories which will come in. Ethanol, for example, is highly corrosive, right? Extremely corrosive. So any of you, you have an older car and you've been using it, I mean, and if you have been living in one of the metros or the big cities where you are getting ethanol blended fuels, please take the time to remove your fuel pump and check it. Look at the amount of damage ethanol blended fuel would have costed, I mean, would have cost your car, right? So what I mean to say is the problems that you would be facing, it is not going to stop there. It's going to keep continuing and it's going to kind of like become more and more prominent as the day comes by. But like I said, we don't look at it as problems. We tend to look at it as opportunities. So, what exactly do you need to do, or what exactly can be done to kind of leverage, right? So that's the whole point of it. What is the scenario like, and how is it that you can kind of like leverage these things? So the first one is basically the job market, right? So by conservative estimates, we think that there are going to be about 15,000 new jobs. I'm not talking about white collar jobs, right? Let's leave that alone. There are a lot of people talking about, I'm talking about other jobs, which could be things like an EV mechanic, which could be a thing like a swap station in charge person, or a person who can handle high voltage systems. I'm just talking about non engineering roles alone, right? There are at least 15,000 such roles, which is supposed to be opening up in India. How do I know that? I'll probably run a small video, a 30-second video, where I'll show you the people that I've met, the people I've spoken with, the kind of information that I've gathered. I'll just take you through a very small presentation for that, right? So the job market is one. The next one is business opportunities. We are in fact partnering as we speak with electric retrofit companies, and we are trying to understand what their requirements are, right? So there are a whole lot of opportunities which comes up. Now, if you are not interested in jobs and business, and if you're already there at a job of your choice, and then you still want to kind of like improve your knowledge, right? So that is your domain knowledge. So you could be from automotive software, and you want to see what exactly is the electric vehicles about, what does it work like. So yeah, those are all things, application areas where you could kind of like think about an upgrade which can actually help you out. Now, understanding this, what we did is we went and we kind of like started figuring out what would it take to kind of like make you succeed with these challenges. So what we thought was is there are going to be three primary areas where people are going to have problem. So the first one is if we also teach you some course, then the first problem that you might face is how does someone know that you have learned enough or what you have learned is sufficient to be employable or something like that, which meant we wanted to go look for a accreditation agency. So earlier, if you are aware of it, RainLab was accredited by STEM.org, whereas today what we have done is we have approached ASDC, the Automotive Skill Development Council of India. We've also approached the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. They call it as the Apex Skill Development Corporation, and we've been working with their automotive department to be more precise. So why ASDC? Because as far as India goes, the complete skill frameworks is framed and developed and accredited by ASDC. The Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation Automotive will work with any new industry in the automotive space which is being set up in Tamil Nadu, and they kind of like help these industries get their employments done, get their recruitments done. That happens with Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. So we have two agencies from the government side, and we have on the other hand the EV startups and OEMs whom we are speaking with, right? So we brought them together and we asked them to accredit our courses. So as such, this particular program which we are launching, there are going to be at least 3 or 4 different variations of it. There'll be one variation which is accredited by ASDC. There'll be one accredited by Convert Motors, which is one of the EV startups we are working with. There'll be one accredited by Mobility Next, which is a mobility consulting company. So like that, we have different variations. Each one of it slightly different, core remains same, but slightly different. Now, the second thing is, what do we teach, right? So most of you are probably from an engineering background and you're like, okay, I already know it. Why should I basically do this again? So this is where the difference comes. We are not going to teach you how something works, right? That's knowledge. We're going to be focusing more on skills, which is basically why we went with Automotive Skill Development Corporation and Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, which means our entire curriculum is in line with NSQF, National Skill Quality Frameworks. And we meet or exceed ASC standards. We meet or exceed college curriculums. In fact, a couple of our students have got a skilled worker visa to the UK based on these courses which we have done. And of course, no education is complete without kind of like showing you the way forward. So we are registered, we are registering with the National Skills Registry, startups and the industries as well, which can kind of convert, the learning into jobs and business opportunities. This kind of how we have set things up. Now you might ask, how do I probably trust you, right? So that's basically the next question, because you don't see too much things about ourselves coming up. I'm not a LinkedIn influencer. I'm not a Facebook or a Instagram influencer of sorts. But how do you still trust me? I just want to play a quick 30-second clip. I'll just show you the kind of people that we've met, the kind of interactions we've had. So I don't think I've published these pictures anywhere, some old, some new. I just wanted to take you through that, right? So this is with people from TVS Motors, Lambda Components of Bangalore. This is TNSDC and ASDC at the Crescent Incubation Center, where I also work. Dr. Shankar Venugopal, like Mohanasundram. This is people from Mahindra, motor designers, and this was an event where people from Bosch, that's Naved Narayan from Bosch, was there. This is at Tata Motors Dharwad, right? This again, Professor Arindam Lahiri, who is the head of ASDC. Another panel discussion where we had Shankar Venugopal, Rapti, we had Arjun from Rapti, and we had Sirajuddin from eDaddy, both startups, where we kind of like, every time we have this interaction, it's not just like saying hi, hello, and taking photos with them, but there's a lot of interaction which keeps happening. There's a lot of times I pick their brains, like Dr. Shankar, for example. Every time you speak with him, there's something new that you learn, right? So you stand on the shoulders of giants. So basically, what we have managed to do so far is understand how exactly the industry is working, understand what the problems with the industry is. And based on this, we have tried to go and we have tried to create the learning curriculum for you. And the learning curriculum looks something like this. Right. So we have 6 different modules, and each of these modules caters to a very specific need. Right. So on one side, you start with the fundamentals, which is doesn't really matter what background you come from, whether you come from engineering, non-engineering, art, science, you are in fifth standard, sixth standard, we will teach you whatever basics that you need. Right. So the fundamentals, in fact, is the only module which we teach in a linear fashion. Right. I'll tell you what that is. And once you're done with the fundamentals, we'll get you to the EV architecture. We'll ask you to retrofit an auto or a bike. Now, a lot of you have this question, why just an auto and a bike? Why can't you do a car? Why can't you do a truck? Right? I'll answer that question. There's a very logical reason why we don't do that. So we let you work with an auto or a two-wheeler, right? And we kind of like let you answer some questions, or we let you like kind of come up with some questions. So once you do that, then what you do is we start moving between motors, batteries, power electronics. We kind of keep varying between these three modules, going up and down, up and down. So the learning here is extremely non-linear, which means you learn only by doing. I'm not going to make you sit endlessly in class and keep on like, stuffing things into your head. We are not going to be doing that. We are only be going to like kind of like let you work, understand what you work with, and then you're going to learn from that. And finally, the sixth module is going to be about what we call as other systems. Now, it is not just an electric vehicle, it is still an automobile, which means there are going to be other systems which can still have problems, like your suspension, your air conditioners, your body control modules, ADAS modules. There are going to be quite a lot of the other things as well. So we will go through those things, and we'll kind of like let you get understanding on that as well. Now, the learning experience, right? I said we will never force you to learn something by cramming things into it. We don't do that. So how do we basically ensure that? So we do that by getting on board our industry partners. Like say, if you want to learn about motor and motor technology, you will work with one of the three industry partners. Kearney, Lambda, or MSI. You want battery, you work with Convert. You want retrofit kits, Convert again does it. Motor controllers, diagnostics, we have some labs from our side. So basically, every single learning that happens here, it happens through actually working with these systems. Now, the advantage that this has is that it helps you understand what you're getting into. Doesn't really matter if you want to get into business, or if you're just doing it for your domain knowledge, or if you want to get into your jobs. It makes sense to understand how every single component works. Not just the technical side, but how do you actually fit it? How does the customers look at it? How do the mechanics look at it? What is the finance behind it? What is the marketing things which goes on behind? It helps you get a 360-degree view of things. But that is not going to be all. I do remember I said that we are not going to be talking about electric four-wheelers, right? So there is a very particular reason why, though we have access to an electric four-wheeler and an electric truck, right? There is a very specific reason why we do not let our students, our learners work on it. So we can take you there, we can show you the systems, we can kind of like give you internships, but we cannot actually let you to work on it while you're still studying. The reason is that anything more than 60 volts is considered to be high voltage, and high voltage systems are extremely risky. Autos, maybe 60, 72-volt max, you're still a little safe. You're not exactly in danger of electrocution, like and dying or something like that. Whereas when you go to a car, you're looking at 300-volt systems. When you go to a truck, you're looking at 800-volt systems, 600-volt systems. These are extremely dangerous, right? So even if you, by mistake, you take a spanner, you drop it somewhere, it falls on some battery packs, and it kind of short circuits it, it's going to be extremely catastrophic, right? And we also will have to get you certified in high voltage, and only then you can start working it. We'll have to give you insulated workspaces, completely insulated boots, and quite a lot of precautions which we take, which, to be very frank, is a hassle at the learning level. So we don't do it at the learning level, but once you're done with learning, you're basically like, if you do want to do it, we do work with a couple of startups in IIT Madras. I've not put their names here because we are still waiting for the MOUs to come, but we are working with them on the technology side, not on the training side. So we are working with a company which is working on a bus, a switch mobility electric bus. We are working with startups who are building high voltage electric two-wheelers, right? Rapti, for example, but not on the training side, on other things, not on the training side though. So once we have those things in place, then probably we can introduce you to high voltage cars, bikes, auto rickshaws, trucks, whatever it is, right? So this is basically how we've structured our learning so far. So we understand that there are some people who can't come into our classrooms and learn. So for those people, we kind of have some online modules. So I'll start there first. So online modules will cover pretty much everything we teach. as recorded and live sessions. Live sessions can happen until 9 p.m. in the night. So depending on the batch, either 6 to 8 or 7 to 9, depending on your flexibility, we can have the live sessions. So you will get to learn, you will get to know the case studies, you will do all interactive sessions, everything you will do it online. Once you have completed the online, you have an option to pay for offline modules, and you can come down, you can do your workshops and the practicals at any point of a time after you complete the course, or even while doing the course. You don't have to necessarily pay for offline modules right away. You can do just the online modules. Or on the other hand, you are someone who don't have too much of a time. You want to come down offline, you want to sit here, you want to learn everything, and you want to go. That is available for you as well. So the convenience is basically what we look at. So whatever we can do to kind of make it extremely convenient for you, that's basically what we are doing here. So when we talk about all of these things, whom are you going to be learning it from, right? Are we going to recruit some teachers from the college and come put it? That's not going to be how it is. So I'll be one of your instructors, and offline trainings will be in Chennai. Right now in Chennai, but if we do have a batch strength, it will be in Porur, right? We are working on the offline also. Like once we have ASDC moving forward, the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation moving forward, we have plans to do offline training at 70 plus locations in Tamil Nadu, probably by the end of the year. Not immediately, but that will be rolled out through Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. Other states, we currently have Bangalore and Pune in the list. We would probably be letting you know. But as of now, everything's going to be from our Chennai location. Offline in Bangalore is definitely possible if we have enough numbers. We can definitely do in Bangalore. In fact, Convert Motors is based out of Bangalore, so we can have it in Bangalore. If we have enough numbers, we'll let you know. We'll keep you posted on that. So what we can do is you can do the online and the hands-on alone, we can give it to you in Bangalore. That's very much possible. So I'll have our people get back in touch with you on this, right? So apart from my work at RainLab and BITS Pilani, I also consult with quite a few OEMs and tier one suppliers as well. Sure, Kunal, we'll do that. If you could just drop your contact number over WhatsApp to me, I'll probably we'll probably sit down and work on this as well. And then we have Mr. Venkatraj Venki, who was the ex-Deputy Director General of SAE India. He quit SAE and he started Mobility Next. RainLab has a stake in this company. And we've been working very closely together to kind of roll this out all across India, right? So coming from SAE India, I don't need to tell you introduction about SAE, right? So he was heading SAE for 7 years and he's now going to be part of the same program. So we bring quite a lot of experience between me and Venki sir. And apart from it, we have our guys, our team with us, Mani, Sujit, Vasant, Hari, Yasser, Naveen. So these have all been my team guys who have worked with one or the other EV development platform or autonomous development platform, right? So these are the people that you would be learning from. Now, of course, if you do have any questions, if there's anything that you need us to take you through, right, you could always WhatsApp us on this particular number. And if you want to have a one-on-one session, either with me or I can have Venki sir, or you want to talk to one of our tech guys, you could always, WhatsApp us, let us know. We would be really, really happy to kind of host you and take you through this. So, let me probably unshare my screen and come back to the questions tab. So, any questions you guys have? I okay. Any questions here? Okay, I think in the Q&A tabs. Okay, someone's raised their hands. Who's that? Okay, I would. Yeah, Kunal, I'll probably text you. I'll text you personally on WhatsApp. Right. I'll probably have the others. You could also get in touch with Raj 9384852224, right? So I can probably also do that. Um, so yeah, so that's on this side. So any other questions that you guys have, So business opportunities, right? So what kind of a business opportunities would you basically be having? You could have retrofit business opportunities. Now, this is something like which kind of like opens up a lot of things when you do have some connections and you want to get an auto in, you want to kind of like convert it, so we can put you across to people who do that, dealerships basically, right? If I'm willing to start a garage, will this course be helpful? Rishabh, yes, it should be. We do that. We do um, quite a lot of things for the master technician. So I'll have Raj take down all of your numbers and I'll have him get back in touch with you. Hi, Manor. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just text you, right? Raj, please do me a favor. Just make a list of the numbers that I will have to personally get back in touch with, and I'll do that.
Sure.
Oh, great. So, anyone here who's like wanting to um, might seem a little weird, but are you wanting to explore retrofit opportunities in other countries? So I know a lot of things which keeps happening in Sri Lanka, but this is something which also works on African countries as well. So there's a lot of traction, and especially now with all the anti-Chinese dumping laws which are in place, there's quite a lot of opportunities which opens up in Africa as well. So if you are kind of like looking out for something in Africa, if you're wanting to kind of like check that out, I think that could be a really good opportunity. Sri Lanka, of course, there's quite a lot of things which are going on. We are basically supporting multiple companies in that, right? We are doing that, but yeah, anything on that, we would be more than happy to help you guys with. Praveen, mechanical engine, transmission, suspension. Yes, Praveen, we do. If you could drop your number, I'll have our team get back in touch with you. In fact, I mean, we started with the master technician course for IC engines, and as things started moving forward, now we've kind of upgraded the course syllabus to kind of include electric and hybrid electric vehicles as well. So it will be applicable both for IC and HEV as well. Super. Thank you. For the electric retrofit, you mean, Rishabh? If that is the case, then the companies usually take care of that. Like, for example, what happens right now is there are some companies which do retrofit kits, and what they're looking at is partners who can kind of give them the space, and they should be able to do the retrofits. Right, so they are basically looking for some partnerships like that, so we can put you onto it. I mean, just for clarity's sake, we do not come in between what arrangements you and the company have. Our role is only with training you to the company's needs, right? So there's nothing like you'll have to pay us anything after that and things like that. So what we try to do is to kind of link you with the companies, and then you can start doing that, right? Um, to join in Hyderabad. Yeah, let's try to figure it out which company ECUs are covered. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but if that's the case, then I think we do Bosch, Siemens, Continental. But EVs retrofits, it's mostly the ECUs are made in India, right? So there are a lot of made in India. There are some Chinese companies as well. Any course including both IC and EV? Yep. I mean, the current course, the EV technician, it will include IC engines also, right? So if you want more on IC, you can kind of like take up the offline modules alone for IC, but we do cover both IC and EV on this. Worked as Kotal technical manager in Mahindra dealership. Great, Rajesh. I mean, I know quite a lot of people in the Mahindra MRV diagnostics department. I know quite a lot of them. I worked very closely with them. So that's really good. We'll get in touch with you, right? We'll try to figure out what we can do in that. Um, in UK, I mean, of course, yeah, part sourcing, we would definitely be able to help you out with, Shantanu. So get in touch with us. You have our numbers. I'll anyways send out a email and a WhatsApp message to pretty much everyone. You could probably you could probably speak with our guys and we could probably take it forward. Yasin, hi. Yes, let me know what you want. Chandan HP MRV is my trainer. Okay. The people that I work with is Satish, who heads the diagnostics department, Arjun, who's the, I think, the assistant manager there. There are a couple of more guys, I don't recall their name. So they work on the diagnostics department at MRV. Arjun KV and Satish, right? So these are the two, people that, I mean, they were my students at BITS. So I know them pretty well, right? ECU tuning course, yep, we will do. Nice to meet you, Rajesh. Hope to see you in person. The problem with webinars, right? So it was all good, when we were doing it during COVID. Now, the problem is I don't know your face. There's nothing to put you in with. So would love to meet everyone some point of a time, right? But we'll see. Your 12th part, a bit English problem. Okay, Yasin, what language do you speak? Our guys can currently manage English, Tamil, Malayalam. What language do you speak? Do you do training at Bangalore? We have options to do that, but not. We can probably do it in Bangalore if we have enough number of people. Hindi, yes, we will be able to handle it. We are having someone come in who will be able to do this in Hindi. See, language is basically not a problem. If you, it's not like I cannot understand Hindi. You hear me speak Hindi, maybe you will just run away. So, pretty much most of our guys can understand Hindi, but we are extremely bad at speaking Hindi. But we'll kind of take care of it. We have a trainer coming in who will be able to talk very fluently in Hindi, so we'll do that. Conversion for normal vehicle like diesel to hybrids. No, diesel to hybrid will not be possible. It is very difficult. But diesel to CNG is possible, Hari, Ganesh. So if you're looking at that, in fact, we are working on a POC with a company. We can actually do that. Converting diesel to CNG is possible. Diesel to hybrid is extremely complicated. It's going to be a little problematic, right? So I wouldn't say don't look at diesel to hybrid. As an individual, it is very difficult. OEM is a different story, but individual is very difficult, right? So yes, I mean, big story short, Hindi is not a problem, Tamil is not a problem, Malayalam is not a problem, Kannada maybe yes, but how about maybe Telugu? I don't know. We don't have anyone right now, but we'll see, right? Though I do work with Bits Pilani, I keep visiting Hyderabad. Not all that good with Telugu, right? Go Goa, one company is also doing something like this. Yes, I've heard of them. I've heard of them. A lot of good things about them. Yeah, we will, right? Let's see, like Hyderabad, or we can always meet up in Chennai. I mean, if you do have a chance to come down, MRV or something like that, we can meet up in Chennai as well. Okay. Great. I think, I mean, I believe in keeping webinars short and sweet so as not to test your patience, not give you any, anxieties about sitting in for a longer duration of time. So I hope this was useful. It was able to convey what we are trying to do, right? And any questions that you guys have, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on WhatsApp. The number is 9384852224. That's Raj's number. So you can reach out to Raj at any point of a time and we'll probably stay in touch, right? So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for spending your Saturday evening with me. Thanks a lot. Um, Setting up in Senegal, yep, I think we can discuss this separately. We can do that, right? There's a lot of things which happens in Africa, so we can definitely look at that as well. So thanks a lot, everyone, for joining in. Have a nice weekend. Take care, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can on WhatsApp. We'll keep the conversations rolling. Thanks a lot once again. Thank you. Bye bye.